Okay, therefore, digital photography and digital videography is much more complex than it used to be. Most people still are not doing it. Your cell phone doesn't do it. The average good video camera does it all for you. Okay? But as you move forward, where you've got different cameras, here's a camera, here's a monitor, a computer, there's a monitor here. Red becomes very important. Green becomes very important. You want this red to look like that red, to look like that red. So the question is now, it's no longer a matter of mathematics, now it's a matter of electronics. So now electronics kicks in. So we've covered before more or less what electronics is. Digital usually is 0 to start with, and you go up to 100 in an analog world. Most of the digital world goes from 0 to 255. So let me ask her, what is 25500? What color?
Red.
Okay. What is FF00?
Red.
Red. Okay. So there's hexadecimal color and decimal color. So this is a chart that we've gone over before, where make your circle of colors. This is what I call one of the magic circles. And it's got 2 rectangles in it. A 6-pointed star. This is one of your primitive figures. RGB and cyan, magenta, and yellow. Okay? Now, put a dot in the middle. Now draw a line out to those. Draw a line from the dot to R. The dot is 0. No electricity. The R will be in your computer program either FF or 255. Everybody got that? So, in your programming, that's how you tell electronics what to do. So you're going to tell this electronic electrons, I want 255 of you. And on the green ones and the blue ones, you go, I don't want any of you guys here. So you're going to have a hot red, a nice, can't get one, but a nice red, nice green, okay? Green RGB, so that'd be 00255000 or 00FF00. A little bit more complicated when you get to the cyan, magenta, and yellow. And that's where this S RGB kicks in. Somebody done it for you. Some people got rid of all the extraneous stuff that they've decided you don't need. Some people say, I want it, then you don't use this RGB. Okay, now, how are we going to decide that that's what we've got? This is what I can't find now. But on a monitor, most people now, Roy's here doing video of what I'm talking about. All these things are going to be hooked up, sending the video out on eclipse day. Okay, so if the moon is blue, which is never blue, but if you got a blue moon or a red moon or a blood moon, you want that moon red or blood. You don't want it looking green, right? So somehow you've got to set these parameters. The camera will do it with automatic white balance, but sometimes you forget that, or sometimes it's not done. So now, Elisa, draw another circle. Okay, now, put your, got a middle blank, your line through it, north, south, east, west. Okay. We went over the circle of units for sound last week. Anybody wants to look at it? That's up on YouTube now. So you kind of have to follow through some of these to get the counts, because some of these overflow. That is sound, this is light, this is photons we're talking about now, and specifically colored ones. The eye, for example, uses cones and rods. They use cones for black and white, rods for color. Your colors have to be RGB. That's another whole thing in itself. The eyeballs, okay, how your eye is going to interpret all this. So what we have to do there is just turn this guy a little bit sideways here, put R here, G, B. No, you're close, right there. Okay, there, good. Now, draw little brackets around them. Okay. Now what you have to do that I was going to show you, you buy a little monitor that the primary operator looks at. Okay, that's for everything that's going to output the signal. So what he's going to do is he's got slide bars there, or you can type it in. Most of them are slide bar. You slide red up till you got it where you want it. You slide green up to where you got to want it. Right down at the bottom, vector scope. Vector scope. A few years ago, only a television engineer with 10 years of experience and a degree in television would know how to use one of these. Now the average sophomore in high school is going to work in a decent TV system school, has to know the basics of what I'm talking about. So again, put a circle around the middle of it, a little circle. That is 0. So we're going to put 4 slider bars. No, I'm sorry, 3. A slider bar like you'll have on a thing. Okay, so now what we want on our vector screen, we want this to line up there. Draw a circle, no, put on your thing RGB, the lines are GB. Okay, now put a circle at the end of it. There. Okay, no, just that one. Put a circle at green and blue, no, the other end. 0. Are you tracking me?
Here.
Oh, I get
Okay.
it.
So now you, or Roy, if he's at a wedding, doing a wedding, and my daughter's in a wedding in Austin, if they hired a video photographer today, more than likely, with the camera he's holding, he's going to have this little scope there. He's got 4 views. So he's going to be like an engineer. He's going to set up grid where he wants it. And if they all look good, he's going to say, okay. If one of them doesn't look good, he might have to go in here and adjust it. There's 2 more things that click in colors, and we're getting back to all these other colors. That's the saturation, S-A-T, saturation, and hue, H-U-E-E, H-U-E. So you might look at this and look at that one and say, ah, that one's too red. Or this one. So at home on your TV, most TVs you have the option in the slider bar too. You can set contrast, you set light, everything we're talking about. Light 100% if you want it. Contrast, which is black really. And then down here you'll have saturation and hue. Okay. This is where this gets complicated related to colors, the different kind of color modes, or that S, they call that space, S-P-A-C-E, space mode for color, so and so. So anyway, what I'm getting at, if you're getting into this type of stuff, which is where we'd like to lead with the drones and with the dwarf. They're leading into this. This is, that photography, the drone is no longer point and shoot. Okay. If you want good pictures, that's why I say the pictures I've got of the moon on the video, in my opinion, are not very good. But I just bought a new telescope that Alex is going to set up, and we're going to take one and match it against the other and see what I can expect from it. And it's a 4-inch telescope. So, in astrophotography, I never bought any bigger than 8 inches. The reason is, if they get, even the 4-inch, you'll see she can't lift. I can just barely lift half of it myself. The OT part of it and the mount, I can lift, but I have trouble putting it where it belongs and so on. So they're heavy and they're bulky and so on. So that's what we're trying to do by training people in software coding and technology to get it where they can work all this equipment and work it right. So. Okay, stop it.